Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. Today is a little different. Instead of us doing some gameplay, we're really not even going to really do any deep gameplay or anything. I'm just going to be talking about the top 3, at least my top 3 best life simulation games in Roblox. So, without further ado, let's get started. So my first personal game that I actually do enjoy playing the most when it comes to life simulation games is Bloxburg. Um because of a number of reasons. Number one, you can create a family tree. So when you invite people to your family, they get added to the family tree, and basically it's a neat system for when it comes to role playing. Now, yes, it is only for show basically because it's just a family tree. Like, what's it gonna do? But I like the system of you being able to invite people to your family to give them like permissions, to your house. Uh, I find it very unique. Another thing that I like about Bloxburg is how flexible and customizable it is, and how interactive it is. With a lot of simulation games, I feel like one problem that I have ran into um a lot is the lack of UI usage. Like the lack of being able to actually interact with items in the game. With Bloxburg, pretty much anything is interactable. Like if I wanted to turn this sign off, I could turn it off. If I wanted to play this arcade, I could play the arcade. If I wanted to dance to music, I could dance to music. If I wanted to watch TV in a big cinema, I could turn on this screen. Or if I wanted to exercise, which is a part of life, I could. I could stay fit in Bloxburg. I could do laundry. Pretty much anything on Bloxburg is interactable. And that's what I like about it. Another thing is being able to build your own houses without, much effort. Like, without, worrying about, oh, I don't like this. Because, a lot of games, they usually have, pre-built houses or pre-built apartments and, like Bloxy Life or Robloxian Life. Um, they have their own, pre-built, apartments and stuff that you can buy in the game. But for me, I personally like being able to customize it the way that I want it, and Bloxburg allows me to do exactly that. You can build from the ground up, or you can choose one of the many Bloxburg pre-builds if you wanted to. Like, say you don't really know much about building, you could do that. Um, and so hold on. And so that's one thing that I like about it a lot, is how customizable it is. But like for me, honestly, this is I built this house a bit ago. It's fairly new. But I've also built another house, which I'll show in just a second. I've also built this house, and they're fairly customized to exactly how I wanted it to be. So I added this pool in the front. I have a garden. Um, I have a secret room, which is my bedroom. Not so secret anymore. I was able to incorporate a living room idea right here, a mouse idea right here, um, kitchen right there, and a bunch of other bedrooms upstairs. And I was able to customize that instead of having to select a pre-built to use. Because, the problem with doing pre-builts is that there's usually some thing that you don't like in it and you wish you could change, but you can't change, so you're just stuck with it being there. At least in Bloxburg, you could remove it, and it won't be an issue for you. Another thing that I like is probably the map, like the town. I like the ability of having like this very small town, but having a lot of essentials, like from like food places to eat at, like diners, to like furniture stores and the grocery store, and having like jobs all around, and then having like a gym place for if you don't have like a home gym, and like a movie theater, and like having a whole like beach on the other side, and having some more jobs like the lumberjack place and the mining cave, and then having an observatory, and being able to like go gliding off of a mountain. And everyone gets to have their own unique house with their own style that they like. um and also being able to have jobs, being able to work and have a job to earn money to like make your builds better and everything is honestly just very um very relaxing for me, and I like it. Now sure, if you're starting off on a lower level, it can be kind of boring because as you work, your level goes higher and you earn more money. So if you're on a lower level, it could be a bit of a headache because you're trying to get to a higher level so you can start making more money to be able to build bigger houses. But I like the system. I find it very relaxing to be able to work and make my own money and everything. And then I like that they incorporated like daily quests. I stopped doing them because they kept breaking. And so since they kept breaking, the streaks kept resetting, and so I decided to wait a little bit before I would do daily streaks again, and see if they patch them up and fix it. But yeah. So that's pretty much what I like about Bloxburg. So let's get into the next video. Not next video, but next game. So the next game we're going to be diving into is Brickhaven. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know a whole lot about this game. I've only played it a few times. I can only say about my experiences that I didn't really like about the game, the reason why I never really played it that much. Um, so number one, don't mind my avatar. This was actually one of my very, very old avatars that I used to have, back then. So, yeah. Obviously my avatar has changed, but it hasn't changed in the game. Might just keep it for nostalgic reasons. I remember I used to wear this bear all the time. But so the first thing I like is that there are a bunch of houses that you can choose from. Uh, you know, and I'd say my favorite thing is that you don't need physical money to actually get these houses either. So instead of having to work to get money to afford these houses, you just choose from one. And depending on what game pass you have, you can get like the premium houses or just a regular house. Now this house is a little funny because it's like built slanted up, so it's like I feel like if you were walking in this in real life, you'd probably be sliding down like the floor and stuff. But it is what it is. Uh oh wow. But so yeah, I feel so one thing is that with Brookhaven, um everything isn't as usable as um in Bloxburg. Like when using a computer, you see this and you can change this, change that, change that, change that, change that, change that. You can do a lot. Um, I'll be honest. You can do a lot. But it's basically like in Bloxburg how you can like watch uBlog, read the news, write a book, that type of stuff. Um Another thing is, yes, don't get me wrong, some things in this game is, usable. But there are a lot of objects that aren't. Like, let's see if I could find something. Like, um, I don't know. I haven't really played this game. Like, okay, you can open the refrigerator if you want to, and like, grab stuff out of it, which is neat, and you don't even need money for it. In Bloxburg, you use the refrigerator, so it just opens when you press use. Um, like this is probably like a storage cabinet or like a pantry. And in Bloxburg, you'd be able to actually open these cabinet doors, but you can't in this game. Um, in Bloxburg, you can interact with the dresser, but you can't. You can interact with the lamp, but you can't. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of small objects. There's not a whole lot of objects really in here to like really be able to say, but you know, basically, just with Bloxburg, pretty much anything is interactable, and in Brookhaven, everything is not as interactable as you'd hope. Um, got like a garage and everything, uh, which is pretty neat. Um, Another thing I like is that Brookhaven has a pretty large map to do things in. Now, the stuff at the stores and stuff aren't as interactable as well, but it works. It gives you more roleplay purpose. Like, you have a bank, you have, some clothing stores, you have, like, the dentist, you have Starbucks, you have a Verizon where you can get a phone, you have post office, you have pretty much anything that you would come across in real life. Like, if I wanted a phone, I could get a phone, and I could use the phone as well, but, you know, I can't do that much. But, at least I have some functionality, and at least they do have a school in Brookhaven as well, so it adds more to roleplay. Um, but honestly, I think the main reason why I just don't play Brookhaven is because it's not as interactive as a game like Bloxburg is. Like, Bloxburg is heavily interactive, and you can do pretty much anything. You could work and everything. Brookhaven is more of you roleplay as you go type thing. So, like, you roleplay that you are working at, one of these stores, but you may not be able to do much, like actually handing a customer something. Um, or you roleplay going to, like, some place. I don't really know, but you can't interact with much in the place. Um, I do like that the game doesn't rely on money, so you're able to pretty much do as you please and have a whole bunch of freedom and stuff. Like, they even have a hospital. But yeah, Brookhaven's probably the second best life simulation game that I would say in my opinion. Um, just because of like the big map and how there's like a lot of different like stores and stuff to choose from, as well as jobs. Um, Meanwhile, Bloxburg's kind of limited, but it's also more interactable. Let's move on to the next game, the last and final game. Alright, so the last and final game that I have is Eros. Now, don't get me wrong, it is not that much of like a life simulation game because it's more focused on just like action and stuff. It's more focused on, um, like the fire department, dot, uh, with the police department, sheriff's department, and criminals. But I like it the best. Well, I don't like it the best, but like the reason why it's the third favorite game on my list is because of just how interactable it is as well. And um it can be realistic when people are actually like playing the game realistically and not like doing a whole bunch of things that you wouldn't do in real life. I like the game when it's played realistically. Like actually following like traffic laws and stuff like that can make it fun. Now people do just like jump straight into the action where they just instantly start robbing places and shooting cops and everything. But it's a pretty fun game. I like it a lot. Um I probably play this with my cousin quite a bit. They do have like a new like gadget shack. Um it was added a while ago, but I never like checked it out or anything. But um honestly, it is probably it's my top 3. You have Tool Stop and then you do have houses. Now no one really uses houses. I do. So I can like go and hide out in my house or around my house whenever there's like cops chasing me. Um, or if I rob a place and I want to like lay low for a while so I can like get unwanted. Um, so I do utilize the houses feature. Um, Different houses I think do cost a different amount of money. However, they're not crazy expensive and it's really relatively easy to get the money. There's also, if I'm not mistaken, there's actually jobs too. Um, there were jobs the last time that I played. Yeah, there's roleplay jobs. So like you could be like a postal worker or something. And they added NPCs and everything, of course, so it's easier for you to kind of earn money in the game. Um, we have they I my favorite one of my favorite things that they added to the updates was when they added a car wash because I really loved when they added a car wash because it was like fun being able to like drive through almost as if it was real. I just like I like going through car washes for some odd reason. But yeah, that's what I liked about uh that's what I liked about it, to be honest. Give me a second. Yeah, so obviously there's not a whole lot I can say about ERLC just because it's not really made for like life simulation, but it can be if you make it made as life simulation. It's more of just like emergency services on the road. Um, like you have Dot with like the tow trucks and fixing lights and stuff. You have the police department for, you know, protecting against like the robberies and the lawbreakers. You have same thing, purpose for sheriff, but then you have like paramedics and stuff and fire trucks for like fires and um wrecks and all that. So it's pretty realistic. It's a good role playing game. As long as you play it right and you play it with like friends and stuff like that. Uh but it's a pretty big map. They even have highways and in my opinion, I like it better than I like it better than a lot of games. And there's really a lot to do. It's really easy to like come up with some unique role plays than to be doing like the same ones over and over again. So I like it. It's a different approach. But yeah, that's gonna be it for my top 3. So my top 3 are for best simulation life games are number 1 Bloxburg. That's the one that takes all. Number 2 Brookhaven, and number 3 ERLC. Now, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to comment some video ideas, and peace.